It's TMNT time. Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Neca Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, in the battle damaged version. So, I haven't reviewed TMNT stuff in a long while because the algorithm doesn't really like that. But I love TMNT, so I decided to make a review today. How much do I love TMNT? This much. This freaking much. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, back to the figure at hand. We're having a look at The Last Ronin, which was an IDW comic, is an IDW comic. It had a little bit of a darker look on the turtles. If you don't know about it, I definitely can recommend it. I think it had a really good start, but kind of fizzled out at the end for me. But anyway, here we got the turtle in the window box for your window box collectors. If you enjoy this, you can display this guy like this. He's absolutely freaking massive. And that's why I'm really looking forward to getting him out of the box and actually having a clean look at the figure. So let's go! And don't forget, especially with the algorithm probably gonna hate on this TMNT review, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. You know, I have a really simple question for you today. Did you read The Last Ronin, yes or no, and what's keeping you from doing it? If you haven't so already. Let me know down in the comments. Let's get on with this. That is one massive chunky boy. Oh my god, how big is he? He stands at slightly over 17 centimeters to the top of his head, which means we are just shy of 7 inches, 6.9 size comparisons.
Here's Jolter, the SH Figure Arts Son Goku, Neca, the Last Ronin in the armored version, Mirage, Leonardo, Cartoon, Donatello, Super 7, Michelangelo, the original Playmates toy, Michelangelo, and Darkseid.
Overall look and detail. He's mean, he's bad, and he's chunky. As far as the look and the mold goes of the turtle, first and foremost, we do have the face sculpt. He's very wrinkly, but that's really to show his age. There's also a lot of black line work on it. Really bring the comic book style to life. That's something that Neca really excels at. But not only that, he's veiny. Look at his neck. There's all the veins that go down. And then all the dots also in the head and like the back of the turtle body. Most of it is cleanly painted. There's some that don't really quite hit the mark. But yeah, I mean, that's some quality control issues. Some will look nicer than others, and generally speaking, I'm happy with the paint over here. And there's those big, bulgy muscles. It's kind of insane. It really, really goes above and beyond of what I'm used to, especially for turtle figures. You know, it has a great attention to detail and a great level of it. Also, the turtle shell in the front, it does look kind of dirty, it does look washed, so that fits the look. And then he has a massive shell, and I love also the detail in the shell. But we do have obviously some paint spots issues, like right there. I don't know what this glossy stuff is going on, what's going on with that. And then also look wise, the shell wraps around his crotch area and then just kind of stops in the back. Like, what the hell is this? You telling me you couldn't pull it up all the way to the back? Why is it hanging out like a diaper? I don't know. So generally speaking, you're not really gonna see that, but it's still a weird choice to just do that. Then there's his massive freaking thighs. I don't even know how to describe that. There's muscles on top of muscles. And then we have some more paint issues. So we go like from the good to the bad. So, you know, the bandages down here, again, nicely washed, but we do have some flaking off already. I just took them out of the box, by the way. Just took them out of the box, flaking off, but regardless of that, we go down to the big toes. And I mean, it's Neca. If you have like quality control issues, they don't care. They don't take anything back. So it's whatever. I deal with it. Mold-wise, it still looks amazing, and paint-wise, it's mostly good. So for the articulation, as you know, I mostly review like Japanese figures, like SH Figure Arts and Figma, and it really kind of takes you back to like this articulation. It's not that great. It's okay. So first and foremost, head does go forward and backward if you give it a good push. Does tilt side to side if you get it like a good grip, a little bit, and also swivels all the way around. I have to sneeze and try to hold it in. Then we have a big hinge in the shoulder, goes up nice enough, and we can rotate the bicep. Can we rotate the shoulder itself? Yeah, that also does work. If you get it into the right position, blah, 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 And then we have bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, which looks pretty awful, by the way, because I didn't really cover it up. He's big and muscly, I get it, but still, like, you know, classic. This is like a very classic hinge. And then the hand. I can't even get this one to work, but there's a hinge in there. It's stuck and frozen! There we go. Whew, don't force it like that, like I do it, because it might break off, but yeah. I'm doing the review right now, so I don't have time for that. So then we have the hip part. There is some articulation under there, but again, it barely does anything. There's some side-to-side swiveling. And yeah, back and forth, yeah, barely worth mentioning. Then the leg moves out quite nicely, doesn't really go to the back because you have a big, massive shell blocking it. And forward motion also is pretty disappointing because why did you not just make this part soft plastic? You made the shell. Wait, the shell also isn't soft plastic. I thought that kind of bent it out of the way. Never mind, so all this is just hard plastic. If you would have added a little bit softer plastic, this would have done a lot more, but, you know, didn't do that. Side to side also swiveling doesn't really do that much. Then we have the double hinge knees, which actually look a lot better. You have like this entire piece that just kind of rotates out. I like the knees. The look of it is, again, much better than the elbows. And then down to the feet. Everything is nice and stiff, by the way. Do not have a single wobbly part in here, so, you know, that's a good part. It's almost too stiff, but hey, I don't want to complain about stuff being too stiff. We're men after all, right? Unnecessary joke in there, but yeah, still, I mean, articulation is pretty basic, but it works, and you do not have to fear about any of the joints being wobbly. For your accessories, we do have a lot of things from the scene where he shows up all beaten up, and I can't quite remember if this was the scene where he tried to off himself. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments when this scene exactly happened again, because my brain is just... my memory box isn't working so well anymore. I don't know why. So anyway, don't worry about it. We do have faces. We have one where he's... well, first of all, they're all angry faces. He's always angry, but considering what he's been through, you shouldn't be surprised. Anyway, so we have this face where it just kind of opens his mouth to the side. Then we have the angry yelling face, which also has all like kind of tapes and bandages all over his face. Not real bandages, but you know, just all kinds of ways to cover his wounds. And the pain on the teeth isn't clean at all, unfortunately. Then we have the angry smile. Why do I even mention angry at this point? But anyway, we have the smile. Not only that, we also have extra arms with some more of the battle scar. Well, we've gotten scars. There's just like lots of bandages going all throughout his big, muscly arms. And we have this book where we have a bunch of poses and whatnot, and a bunch of gibberish. You know, they didn't commit to any languages. Oh, shouldn't be Japanese or whatever. Then we have tea kettle with a grip on the side. Nicely painted, obviously still kept in the comic book style, so that's really nice. And we also have a cup. Don't have anything to put in the cup, but here's the cup. I don't even know, does he have anything to hold the cup? Okay, this hand works. So for your hands, we have these two holding hands for any kinds of weapons and whatnot, which he doesn't really come with, but then again, in the scene he doesn't have any weapons. I say scene, you know, it's a comic book, but you know what I mean. Then we have these kind of open hands, which fit very well to hold on to the teacup, and then we have these flat open hands for some slaps. Boom. And that's it. Final thoughts! And I have to retract a statement right away because, yes, this is actually somewhat soft plastic. It doesn't feel soft, but that's probably just because I had the massive leg just kind of jammed into that. So, upon playing around, you do get a little bit more wiggle motion on the legs. So, apologies for that. But, yeah, what do I think about this figure? The mold is phenomenal. The paint is good for the most part. It's a little bit, yeah, there's a lot of cool detail in it. But I'm really miffed about the mishaps of like in the shell and, you know, with the bandages. That's just stuff like you're buying a collector's item and the white's already flaking off right out of the box. That's not a good look, I gotta be honest here. Articulation, it's fine, you know. Again, I'm used to like more the Japanese figures, but generally speaking at the price point, this articulation, you know, it doesn't go above and beyond, but it does have definitely some cool points, especially like I feel like the knees are molded for, very nicely molded for the most part, and you know, it works. it works. It does. He can like fold up like a pretzel, but he doesn't need to because like look how big, old, and bulky he is. So what does all of that mean? I like this figure, but I don't consider it like a must-have. They really went down to the nitty-gritty when it comes to the detail of this figure, because obviously there's not that much going for it, and that's the design's fault. That's obviously not the designers of the figure fault, but generally speaking, I would have liked maybe some more accessories, articulation, maybe loosen up a little bit more, but generally speaking, it's a good figure. There's not really much for me to complain about, so we'll recommend it if you care for having like a big naked turtle, but if you don't, then you probably don't need this one. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for figure reviews, VTuber stuff, and whatever the Last Ronin wants.